Third time lucky. Okay, do us a favour, can you hear me? Can you hear me okay? How badly am I lagging this time? Okay. I'm using a different thing. I'm using my phone now. That's why. I was using the webcam, but now I'm using my phone, and you're gonna have to make do with the microphone on the phone, unfortunately. Android. Yeah, I can see that proving Molly. $21.26. Yeah, $21.26. Yeah, unfortunately, unless I can find my microphone, which I don't think I was able to find it the other day. This might help. Let's see if this helps. Right, is that any better for the sound? Is it worse, really? Oh dear Lord. Right. Oh, isn't this fun, eh? Imagine that. Supposedly being targeted by the boys in blue. And they wonder why people get the ump with them. Right, do you know what I'm going to do? How many have we got on? We've got 170 people on. So we're going to do this now. I'm going to do the camera giveaway because the way things are going this evening, I'm going to have to decide what to do next. But anyway, with regards to that, we're going to do the giveaway anyway. All right, so we're going to get that done and out of the way. I can't move the mic closer. I'm not using this one because I'm using my. I'm doing this off my mobile phone because through the laptop it was lagging really badly. So, right. When you hear me say this, press number 1. Right. Okay. Well, that's not too bad. We're only talking about 4 or 5 seconds behind then at the moment. Thank you, folks. Right, okay. So, not situation. The camera giveaway. So I do this every week. So for those of you that have heard it multiple times already, I apologise. But there's new people. And obviously new people need to know the rules and whatnot as well. So now it's not a Boblov camera. In fact, it's not an overly expensive camera, but it's a camera nonetheless, and it's free. So we have this little camera to give away. It's metal, so it'll suffer a drop on the floor quite well. Comes with night vision. It comes with motion detection as well. All of that in this little thing. The only thing that you're going to need to get yourself is a SD card, mini SD card. Okay. Now, so you've got the camera, and it comes with a clip. Okay. Literally, that's it, clipped. So you can clip that onto a pocket or a collar or whatever you want. You can turn the camera around as well. So if you need to clip it to the side, you can turn the camera so it's still upright, right? So that's the camera. Comes with a USB cable to mini USB, and it also has a TV output as well, so you can plug it into a TV or whatever. And it also comes with a little stand as well. Okay, so you can pop this on a shelf, pop the camera on it, put it on motion sensor. You can leave it indoors, and you can leave it as a motion sensor camera to check that nobody's been in your house while you've been out. Okay, make sure nobody's climbing out of your attic in order to take food out of your fridge while you're out and about. So excuse me. So that's that. Now, in order to get your hands on it, it's very, very simple. I'm going to post a link in the comments in just a few moments. That link will take you to a video. All you need to do, you haven't got to watch the video. You can go over there, do what you need to do, and then come back. But all you need to do is type in the comments of that video whatever your username is. And that's it. Whatever your username. So if your username is, let's grab one for example, if your username is Petrolhead, then you type in Petrolhead. If your username is Celtic Bomber, just type in Celtic Bomber. So whatever your username is, you type that into the comments. Nothing more, nothing less. Okay? Don't put hi, this is Celtic Bomber, or hi, this is Police Abusing Powers, whatever. Just your username. Okay? And that is it. Only put it in once. If you put it in more than once, you won't be eligible if you win. Okay? Then we'll have to pick somebody else. So only put it in once, please. If you're not in the UK, unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to post this to you at the moment. Okay, so this is for UK only, I'm afraid. What else? If you've won one of the cameras before, whether it's this small one or whether you've won a Boblov, also you'll be exempt from winning again. Okay, because we have to make it fair so that everybody gets a valid chance to win one. All right, everybody understand? Okay, just one last time. The link I'm about to post, when it posts, click it or right click it, open in a new window, whatever. Doesn't matter if you have to leave this stream to go over there, you can come back to this stream. You go to the video, in the comments, you type your name, your username, whatever your username is, that's it. Do it once only, because if you win and then we see there's two in there, then unfortunately we're going to have to pick somebody else. Once we've picked, you've got 60 seconds to let me know that you're still in the room. If you don't let me know that you're in your room, then we're going to have to pick somebody else after 60 seconds, and that's just to make sure that this doesn't go on all evening. So, ready? Steady. There you go. There's your link. Username only in the comments of that video. Only type your name once. You can close this window and come back to the live stream in a moment. If you've already won, unfortunately you can't win again. Chris Hartley, it's an SQ8. It's not an expensive one. It's not an expensive one, but it does the job. Do you know what I mean? Oh, I see, Dave. Yeah, I see what you mean now. Okay, Dave. Much appreciated. I need to write that down or I'll forget. Okay, so there's a link again. Got about 3 minutes, 2.5, 3 minutes left. I'm going to keep posting it in every so often into the comments. But yeah, hit that link. Thank you guys for reposting that link. Much appreciated. Yeah. Well, this is why I give 5 minutes, Roger. 5 minutes for people to get over and do what they need to do. Evening, Kerry. How are you doing? Mark Edwards. If there's a second Mark Edwards, it will only show up. It will show up rather as individual channels. We've got about a minute and a half, 2 minutes left, folks. So again, just in case you've just joined the room, link that's going up in the comments. If you click on that and head over to that video, all you need to do is type your username, your YouTube username in the comments. Do not type anything else or anything less. Whatever your username is on YouTube, type that into the comments. Only do it once. Got about a minute left or thereabouts. Only type your username in once. If you're outside the UK, unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to send it to you at the moment. Hopefully, we'll be able to do that in the future. Okay, let's go 20 seconds. 15. 10. 6. 2. 1. Okay. That's it. No more. We're going to check how many comments are there. And if it goes up, then any comment after this time will not be counted. $143 comments. Okay. We'll see what the last comment was, who it was from. Right, okay, so that's the last comment, was that person. And right, you guys know how I do this anymore. Most of you know how I do this. Unfortunately, I can't do it the way that I normally do it and show you on screen. So you're gonna have to trust me. Start raffle, pick random winner. Okay, let me just double check that that person is only put it once. Bear with me and I'll tell you who's won. I'll be honest, it's not a name that I've heard of before. So it looks like it's somebody that's new to the channel. And I've already selected the person. So once I make sure that there's only one comment from that person, I'll show you on the camera. I'll bring the camera around and show you the name on the screen. But I can tell you now it's not somebody that I've heard of before. Well done, Met Police. I'll tell you what, it's actually, everything is just running just so slow. Is that it? No, there's more. What's going on? Right, now I know we're at the end. Okay. Right, okay. So I know it's only one. There's only one comment from this person, and that I'm going to show you who it is. If you can see it, can I turn this round? How do I turn the? There we go, like that. There we go. Paul Gelder. I've heard of on the channel before, so it's cool. Excellent. Congratulations. Are you still here? That's if you're still here. You need to let us know that you're still in the room, Paul Gelder. Is here yet? Brilliant. Okay. Excellent. What I need you to do, I'm trying to catch your name because at the moment I had to go off of the live stream on the laptop myself. What I need you to do, Paul Gelder, is email me. Email address is in the description of all of my videos. It's policeabusingpowers@gmail.com. I need you to email me with an address to send it to. What I also need, however, to make sure that I'm sending it to the right person, because let's face it, not everybody uses an email address that is their name. So what I need you to do, just to confirm that you are who you are, is I need you to take a screenshot of your YouTube back office that shows your name, okay, to confirm that it's you. But it needs to be a back office, because I know only you'll be able to access your back office. And I need you to send me that in an email, please, with your address, and I will get that sent off to you tomorrow. Congratulations. Just quickly, are you, if you're still here, Paul, are you new to the channel? Just out of curiosity. Been watching for a while. Okay, cool, no worries. I don't recognise your name, that's all. But no, that's absolutely fine, mate, no problem whatsoever. But if you can do that for us, take a screenshot of your back office, email that over to me with your address, I'll get that sent off to you tomorrow, and that'll be sent signed for. So you're going to need to sign for it. Cool. I like giving things away. The Watcher. That made me laugh. Oh, I don't know, Vicky. I don't know if we are or not, to be honest. I don't even know what it is. Never heard of it. Yeah. Send us a photo of your warrant card. What bullies? Why? What's happening? Who's bullying? Who's bullying? What's going on? All right, look. Okay, I missed that. I didn't see that because I was looking through stuff there. So, guys, look, if whoever wins, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter who wins. Somebody's won it. The whole point of giving it away, you know, and thank Pinaki News, who supplied with a few devices to give away. There's still more to give away. There's still chances for other people to win. But I will say, although I can tell that most of that is taking a piss, I will say that please do not, you know, call people out as being old Bill if you don't know that they are, because it's offensive. Have a laugh, have fun, no problem at all. But remember, if you want to take piss out of someone, take piss out of me. I can handle it. Motty, I didn't say there was bullying going on. I just said that pick one person for everybody to go PC, for example, PC so-and-so, or that person's plod, or whatever it might be. It's like half a dozen people saying it to one person. That's why I say, if you want to take piss out of me. I don't mind. But calling people police when they're not police is offensive. Smoking is going to save me from coronavirus, don't you know? I know, look, I know there's banter. I know there was banter going on. I know that. Just got to remember that new people to the channel, for example, might not be so used to how we talk to one another, shall we say. Do you know what I mean? There's a core group on here who knows, you know, when we have a laugh with each other and we take the mickey out of each other or whatever it might be. And that's cool. It's all I'm saying is if there's new people come on that don't quite get us yet, I don't want to scare people off. That is Daisy snoring, indeed. Yeah, the body cams are. I went through the evidence store. We raided a market stall and took all of their stock. Tommans, what was that? A three message question. Mother always told you smoking would stoke your growth. Sitting on cold walls would give you Farmer Giles. I was always told that masturbating would make you go blind. My dad used to say to me, you know, too much masturbating and you'll go blind. So I says to him, just masturbate a little bit and wear glasses. Paul has sent me the email. Cool. Brilliant. Thank you, Paul. It's not come through yet. Yes, it has. There it is. Lovely. Paul, thank you very much. I will, I'll check that. I'm sure it's fine. I'll check that after this live stream and I'll get that sent off to you tomorrow. The camera is an SQ8. The fines, right? The plan was for the fines to go up to £100 for your first offence, and double with each subsequent offence. So the first fine is supposed to be £100 if it's working on what they said they were going to do. Okay, so the first fine is supposed to go to £100. Your second fine, your second offence, is going to be £200. Your third offence will be £400. Your next offence will be £800. Then 16 up to £3,200 in fines if you get up to 6 offences. Although there was nothing that said it was going to go any higher than six times that you could get done. So I don't know whether or not after 6 it doubles again, or whether 6 is the limit. I also don't know whether it means you're going to have 6 fines, and the first fine is 100, your second fine is 200, meaning you've got to pay 300 after the second fine. I don't know. I wouldn't suggest that people, and I haven't suggested that people do anything to get themselves fined. Remember, the fines, as far as I can tell in the legislation, the fines are actually for people that are not socially distancing, being somewhere that's deemed unnecessary, shall we say, or not essential. I'll have to have a look back through the legislation, but from what I can see in the legislation, it's that the fines are for people that are in groups of 2 or more. I don't recall seeing anything in the legislation that says that you'd get fined for being somewhere that's deemed as non-essential. So I'm going to have to look back through that. But the fines, as I've said, I wouldn't even worry about them. I would just contest every single fine that you get. Just contest it. Just appeal it. Your son's learning to drive. Can you take him out in a car? What I'd suggest you do, Betty, to be on the safe side, because again, we know that there's police out there that will try anything. So to be on the safe side, I would suggest, number one, make sure you've got L plates on anyway, okay? As you probably know that anyway. But get him to drive when you need to go places, rather than just go out on a. Sorry, my screen's gone blue light filter. Rather than just go out and drive around, which, from what I can tell, there's nothing actually stopping you from doing that. But I would suggest, to be on the safe side, to let him drive when you're going to the shop and things like that. Let him drive when you're going somewhere to go and exercise. Do you know what I mean? Does that make sense? And that way, you're not going to put yourself in a situation, and the police aren't going to be able to twist it against you. Because if he's driving, so it doesn't matter whether he's learning to drive or not. There's nothing in the legislation that says a learner driver can't drive you where you need to go. So, so just let him drive the car when you're going to the places where you want to go, and that kind of negates the police being able to do anything about it. Nervous about tomorrow? What's happening tomorrow? Wales is, yeah, that's right. Sad but mad lad. Wales at the moment is the only place that's got a time limit on your exercise, or it was. Again, it might have changed in the last few days. I've not re-looked at the legislation in the last few days, but Wales was the only place where you had a time limit on your exercise. Yeah, tomorrow, yeah, the relaxation of the rules comes in effect on Wednesday. So for the next couple of days, you're probably going to find the police are on a bit of a mission, in all fairness. You teach new intake for Greater Manchester Police. Do I have words of wisdom for them? Just what I say all the time. Stick to your job, and remember that order followers, people that follow orders without thinking for themselves, get themselves in trouble. Even if you're in the police, you have your own moral compass. And that moral compass means something to people. So when you're asked to go and do something that doesn't feel right, the chances are it's not right. And if your superiors are any sort of human being, then you go and speak to your superiors and say, that don't seem right to me, and they do anything other than sit you down and discuss it with you, then they're not worth working for. Hello, Alice Little. By the way, the reason I'm looking down here is because I've got the stream open on the laptop so I can see all the comments. On the screen on the phone, I can't see all of the comments. I think you're right there, Roger. I think you're right. Or maybe the other thing to remind them, Ian, is the principles of policing. That would be an interesting thing to remind new intakes. Cake. I haven't got any cake this week. But that's good, Ian. Ian, I mean, to teach them that stuff is good, but what happens after that? How is it that they soon forget all of that stuff? This is a problem that we have, isn't it? I do believe, and I've said this before, and I'll say it again, I do believe a lot of police, not all of them, but a lot of police will join the police because they want to make a difference in their communities or whatever. But the problem is, once they're in the police, what seems to happen is all of that soon disappears. I understand that the policing must be difficult because you know there's a lot of people in this country that are absolute arseholes. Do you know what I mean? And I'm not going to get into talking about demographics or anything like that because people will start calling me racist and homophobic and sexist and God knows what else. But there are demographics in this country that will generally treat the police terribly. And I understand that the police have to deal with that stuff, but what they seem to do is they seem to carry that on their shoulders to the next person that they deal with. and then they treat that next person that they deal with, who could be a completely decent person, speak to them like a piece of shit, treat them like a piece of shit, and then they wonder why that person then turns around and gets funny with them. There are very few interactions where the police approach somebody and actually speak to them respectfully. I know they think that they speak to them respectfully, but going up to somebody and just because you say the word mate or excuse me before you start having a go at them doesn't make it respectful. You know, you don't just go up to someone and say, hello mate, well that's my respectfulness out of the way. Where do you think you're going? What are you doing? What have you got in your pockets? That's the kind of thing that seems to happen. Do you know what I mean? When I was growing up, when I was a kid, the old Bill used to have a smile on their face when they saw us kicking a ball about at the end of the road, or if a police car went past and one of us kicked the ball into the road, police might stop and he'd get out and he'd throw the ball back for us. Do you know what I mean? And he'd have a laugh with us, then tell us to be careful, then get in his car and he'd drive off. These days, the police would get out of their car, grab the kids by the scruff of the neck, drag them home. And that's why there's no respect anymore. And this is what I'm getting at. And this is why this is why the police need to see and need to know what the public think of them. I don't know if they're in bed or not. I don't know, but it is quiet. Yeah, Vicky, you're right. They do. They. Everybody is a potential criminal. This is the thing, and that's why, the respect has gone. The thin blue line, photography, light and magic. The thin blue line is supposed to be a charity to do with uh, law enforcement that have died, I believe. The problem is, it seems that it's more of a dividing line these days between the police and the public. Psycho's missus, thank you, appreciate your comment. Guess what happened, Copwatch? Can I sleep on it and get back to you tomorrow on what I think might have happened over that? Marty and Crime Bodge. It's a bit of entertainment, isn't it? Buggy Ready. I do know that they've done it in Ireland, Northern Ireland. They're challenging it. Here, there is a guy. I can't remember what his name is now. I spoke about it in one of my daily videos last week, I think it was. Who was who's put in a challenge to the government over it, but I don't know what's happening with that at the minute. Do you know what, Vicky? That is so true. As kids, we was always told, if you're in trouble, go find a policeman. Maybe that should be the benchmark now. Maybe police constables should say to themselves, if my kid came up to somebody like me, would they come to me for help, or would they run away? Would they be in danger? Maybe that should be the standard of working out whether or not you're half decent police or not. My biggest wish, Sir Jimmy Savile, I always wanted to come on your show. Maybe I should rephrase that. That's good, Alice. I'm glad. Have you really, Liana? That's good. I've got to say that I think that's really good. And I'm not saying that because you're saying you're going to leave the police. I mean, you said you joined because you wanted to make a change. You don't feel you're doing that, so you're going to do something else that you feel is going to help make a change, and that is good. Alice Little, it's obviously being in the police is a difficult job these days. I understand that, but they don't help themselves. Do you know what I mean? They could make things a bit easier for themselves. John Boyd. Well, Liana, when you stop enjoying what it is you're doing, like when you get up in the morning and you dread going to work and you know something needs to change. But fair play. I can't say any more than that. Do you know what I mean? Leaving the job to go and do something else because what you're doing is not doing what you thought it would do. Fair play. What's Boris said? Well, the same mumble jumble that he normally says. A bit of a confusion, really, isn't it? What do I do for a living? Same as everybody else at the moment. Nothing. I'm a chef by trade. I've got a business, but it's not doing anything because it can't do anything. The same as most other people. What's that, Just Stuman? Oh, she's a pointer. She's a pointer weaver, and she's got a terrible snoring problem. All right, mate, no worries. I wasn't sure whether I'd missed a comment from you or not, Just Stuman. Right, I gotcha. I gotcha. Oh, years ago, I used to go do that years ago. We're talking a lot of years ago now. Um, I used to do. Used to get hired to go and do barbecues for people. I actually enjoyed that. It was a really good thing to do. That was. Well, that's fair enough. I mean, I'm not always things I say are not always going to be what everybody else agrees with. The same as people are going to say stuff I don't always agree with. Um, for me, I see everybody has the right to say what they want, providing they're not inciting a crime, and providing they're not targeting any harassment at somebody. Do you know what I mean? If somebody was in the chat, for example, and every other word was twat, bollocks, wanker, or whatever, providing they're not aiming that at somebody consistently, then I don't care. You know what I mean? Everybody has the right to say what they want, and I have the right to either agree or not agree, the same as you. Excuse me, but yeah, I think a lot of a lot of people will watch a video or part of a video, and they'll make a decision based on that. Do you know what I mean? Which is not going to do anyone any good, making a decision on 5 minutes worth of something, because you might catch a part that you don't agree with, but then there's going to be other stuff that you do agree with. Am I hosting a hog roast? I might do. I might do, maybe. See, when this is all over, when this old lockdown malarkey is over. In fact, actually, from Wednesday, the letting agents might be open, and I can sort out my moving back down south. And if the beaches get open, I'll invite everyone down, and we'll have a big barbecue down on the beach. Motty lad, sorry if you was out of line. Why? Over what, Motty? I don't know what you're talking about, mate. Back to Essex, Lucifer, where I'm from. I know it's never going to go back exactly as it was. However, I think we're going to be back in a position at some point where we can have a barbecue somewhere and get everyone down. 6 words, Joe Black. What's 6 of those, mate? As long as it's not a spit roasting, Dave. Jaywick Sands. up by the mobile homes. Oh, no, don't worry about it, Motty. It's all right. It's not a problem. Ian, I'm presuming that comment was for me. I don't know what's wrong with it. I don't know why it's not coming through. I've got no idea. Let me see what it says about space. It should have loads of space in here. It's not even going to tell me. Oh God, yeah. 3% of 15 gig is all I've got used in my inbox. So I've still got 97% of 15 gig. So it shouldn't be a problem coming through. I don't know what's going on. It's south for me, Lucifer. A long way south. I think it'd be cool to have to get people together, have a barbecue or something. I think that'd be excellent. Arthur Daly. Essex girls ain't what they used to be, mate. Trust me. You've seen Gemma Collins, haven't you? Well, this is one of the reasons why I do these weekly live streams where we just get on and we just chat, because everybody's in that situation, aren't they, where they're locked in, so to speak, you know, sort of figuratively speaking, that's the word. And and the chat, the weekly chat, just gives people something to do. Do you know what I mean? You're not able to go out with your friends and all that stuff, so the weekly chat just gives people a chance to come in here and just chat rubbish, really. But I've spoken to a lot of people on here now over the last few weeks, and I think there's a few of us that really get on, made some good friends on here. Oh yeah, there's some that I wouldn't want. Some people you don't want to meet. It's is that 750 gig? Is that what you're saying, Ian? That's 750 gig. I don't know how I'm going to manage to get hold of that. Oh bloody, that's big, isn't it? I used to have an SFTP server, but I haven't got it I don't have it set up anymore. No, I don't. I'm not sure how. I'm not sure how I'm going to be able to do that. I've got Dropbox. I've got what's it called? Google. The Google thing. But none of them have that much size. To be honest, I think a body cam's better. I think a body cam will always be better, and the reason being is because some of the body cams you can set to Wi-Fi the footage or Bluetooth the footage directly to your phone, so you can keep your phone in your pocket. If you are ever stopped by the police and they want to take something for evidence, they're going to take the body cam because that's what's filming if your phone's in your pocket, and then they're not going to have a reason to take your phone if your phone's in your pocket. So I would say that a body cam is always going to be the best choice if you've got one that can link to your phone and stream it directly to your phone as well to save. I've got barcode. I've got a server. That's entirely up to you, Ian. It's entirely up to you if you want to do that. Just drop us an email, and I'll speak to you once I finish on the live stream, if that's okay. Sorry, barcode. I was saying I've got a server. I've got a server with unlimited space on it. It's just that I'm not using it at the moment. I've got nothing on there, which I should have because I'm paying enough money for it per year. But I've got no way of giving somebody access to upload something to it at the moment. Do I watch Good Morning Britain in the morning, and what are my opinions on Piers Morgan? I'll be completely honest. I think that Piers Morgan says things as they are, and I like people like that. I like people that that says what's on their mind. Do you know what I mean? If something comes into my head, and this is why sometimes people will call me out in the comments sometimes, and that's fine. But sometimes people will say to me, I'll get to that in a minute, Athelstan. Sometimes people will say to me about something that I've said. The thing for me is, if I think something, I'll say it. I don't. I think when you get to the point where you have to think about everything that you need to say, I think that you're doing something wrong, or you're not doing something wrong, but you're not being true to yourself. And I think I think you are letting yourself down. If it comes into your mind, then you might as well say it. You know what I mean? Now, well, Katie Hopkins is the same. Katie Hopkins, if something comes into her head, she'll just say it. Do you know what I mean? I would prefer to say sorry for saying something than not have said something that was important. Do you know what I mean? Does that make sense? I would prefer to say that I'm sorry about that. I didn't, and explain why I said something, rather than just not say something and then wish that I'd said it. Well, this thing about what you're saying there, Athelstan, about Piers Morgan. Now, I'm not saying that whether I like him or not. I'm not saying whether I like him or not. All I'm suggesting is that when people say what's on their mind, I think that's very. I think it's empowering for people to be able to speak their mind. When you have to think about what you're saying for fear of what others might think, you're only doing yourself a disservice, I think. One thing I like about Liverpool, I'll be honest, one thing I like about Liverpool is that up here, I'd say 90% of the people up here will tell you whether they like you or not. For example, I'll use that as an example. 90% of the people up here will turn around. If they don't like you, they'll tell you to fuck off, do one, okay? Because they don't like you. 10% will be two-faced. Where I come from, 90% are two-faced, and 10% will tell you what they think of you. Do you know what I mean? And that's one of the things that I love about Liverpool, is that people are upfront and honest, and they tell you what they think. Do you know what I mean? And I like that. I prefer people to be like that. I don't want people to give, to beat around the bush and be worried about saying something to me because it might hurt my feelings, for example. And that's one thing that I like about Piers Morgan, is that he will tell you what he tells you what he thinks. Now, whether he's a hypocrite or not, I'm not getting into that debate. All I'm saying is that people should say what they think. You have the option to apologise afterwards, okay? But if you don't say what you think, then you're going to regret not saying something that you should have said. Oh no, I get that, Athelstan. I understand that totally. If somebody comes to me with a scenario that I don't know, I'm not going to knock them for it. I'm not going to take the piss out of them for it. I will try and understand it. Do you know what I mean? And it's once I've understood it, then I can give my opinion. But if somebody asks me something that I don't know, I'll say I don't know. I've said that many times. People have asked me questions, and I'll say I don't know. I haven't got an opinion on that because I don't know enough about it, you know. But yeah, there are some people that they'll say things for the shock factor, and they'll say things on purpose for the shock factor. Thank you, Barcode. Yes, Ian J. Watson. Your wife likes me a lot, so you hate me a bit. Well, Ian, I would like to speak to you at some point if you don't mind. I'd appreciate if you could find maybe 20 minutes to speak to me at some point. Some of the comments are flying past so quickly, Richmond. It's difficult to keep up with them all. Am I 100% freedom of speech, or do I believe that slander and libel has its moral place? I think that you've got harm, loss, and damage under common law, haven't you? I think there are some things that you can say which can cause somebody all of those things. But generally, you say that to cause those things. So libel and slander, for example, normally you would say something purposely to cause somebody harm, loss, or damage, whether that's financially or otherwise. So I do think there is although I do, in my opinion, I'm 100% for free speech. But again, providing that it's not breaking a law, and for me, the law is the harm, loss, or damage. Yeah, okay, Ian, that's fine by me. No problem at all. No problem at all. It would have to be in the afternoon, though, if you don't mind. You have to work on. I've got to work on tomorrow's video, so if you can do it in the afternoon, I'd appreciate that. What's up, Marty? Paul, no, I use an auto cue for the reports. There's no way I can remember all that. So no, I use an auto cue. That's why sometimes, if you've seen some of the more recent videos, I might be talking, getting a mucking fumble, and then lean forward, and you'll see the phone wobble a little bit where I'm scrolling the auto cue back again. Yeah, Tommins. No, I agree. Yeah, I mean, I know there's people out there that that think that way, and and I can understand why they do. It's just obviously for me, I think there is everything we do. There's a moral side, isn't there? Sometimes that moral line is a lot thinner than other times. Uh, but I do think that if it involves harm, loss, or damage to somebody, and I think slander and libel generally is done to cause harm, loss, or damage to somebody, and I think that that's wrong, to be fair. But everything else is pretty much fair game, mate. Yes, I do. I do write and set the own auto cue content. Although I prefer somebody else to do it for me to save me some time, but yes, Athelstan, I do. Yeah. I go through the reports. I try and find at least two of each story, and I read them both, and then I try and write my own bit out. If I'm running out of time, then sometimes I'll grab some of the parts out of that's already been written, and then I'll tie it all together with my own stuff. But generally, I try and get two reports of each story, read them both, and then write that part of the report, and then get another two reports of a different story and do the same thing. Then I write it all out, and then I have to email it to myself, and then open it up on my phone, because that's all I use at the moment. And the phone that I use, I've got an auto cue function which I downloaded, and I use that on the screen when I'm recording. It's a pain in the backside, but if I didn't enjoy doing it, then I wouldn't do it. Yeah, there is a lot that goes into it. It would be more if I'd done every report that I find, or every report that gets sent to me, if I put them all in a report. So every story that gets sent to me, or every story that I find, if I put every single one of them into a report, you'd be looking at maybe 45 minutes worth of report every day. As it is, a 20-minute or thereabouts report can take around 8 hours. Video editor, I use Camtasia at the moment. What's my opinion on the clapping thing? To be fair, I think initially it was a good idea. I think it's turned into a bit of virtue signalling now. Initially, it was a nice thing to do. If it was done once a year, for example, then it would be a nice thing to do once a year. But this whole every Thursday thing, I think, has just got to a point where it's just virtue signalling, and people go out and they clap and they go, oh, look at me, I'm clapping for the NHS. And don't get me wrong, the NHS have always done a good job as far as I'm concerned. They've always, they're the NHS and the NHS at the moment, we've got to take it into perspective. The NHS at the moment, with things, for example, putting COVID down on all of the deaths and all of that stuff, got to remember that they're being told to do that. Do you know what I mean? So the higher ups in the NHS have been told what to do, and they're doing it. because they've been told by their superiors. But this is why we're getting people lower down the chain that are coming out and telling us what's going on, because they've had enough and they don't agree with it. But generally, the NHS and the fire brigade are the only ones that don't use discretion. Out of the NHS, fire brigade and the police, the NHS and the fire brigade, they don't use discretion to decide whether or not to save someone's life or to put a fire out. They have to go and do it. Unfortunately, the police have the discretion to decide whether they investigate a crime or not in many cases. And that's wrong as far as I'm concerned. A crime is a crime. Do you know what I mean? So they should be investigating all the crimes. And so for that's why I've got more respect for the NHS and fire service. But again, going back to the NHS, the whole clapping thing, yeah, initially, great idea. Absolutely. Show a bit of appreciation, of course. If it was done every year, I'd support that once a year. Show some appreciation. I've got no problem doing that at all. But again, doing it every week, I think that people, like members of the public, have just got it into their heads now that, oh, look at me, I'm clapping for the NHS, aren't I lovely, aren't I wonderful? And I'm not putting people down, right? I'm just saying there are many people out there that are doing it now just to make themselves look good. I've not seen that advert, Ian, to be fair. But if that was the case, then that shouldn't be allowed, because nobody else is allowed to do that. If it was, for example, all white and Asians, for example, then they'd be told off for not being diverse enough. And who is it that monitors all the adverts and stuff? I can't remember. Ofcom. Ofcom wouldn't have it if it was done the other way around. No worries, Copwatch. Thanks for jumping on, mate. Thank you, King, for jumping on. Appreciate that. I'll look that up, Ian. Ian, is that the one, You Clap For Me Now, the coronavirus poem on racism and immigration? Is it that one? Yeah, okay. I've got it on the other tab. I'll look at it shortly. But it's like, I've got to be honest, there's this thing as well. It was on this morning. There was a program on this morning, I'm sure it was. And it wasn't, it was this evening. It was this evening. And it was a news report. Can't remember what channel it was, but there was a news report on, and it was the BAME community talking about how this COVID thing has brought out racism and how COVID is racist and stuff like that. And I'm like, what? You know, how can that even be a thing? Do you know what I mean? Going on about, oh, it's the BAME community that are, you know, they've got a higher death rate, for example. But then you see and hear about people going, for example, to pray. We see videos of Asians, Muslims, whatever, you know, in large groups, but yet they're wondering why there is a higher death rate in the BAME community. Do you know what I mean? So it just doesn't make any sense to me. And again, people jumping on and doing videos like what I think that clap for me video is going to be, is again, it's a bit of virtue signalling and racism as well. Yeah, for me, I just, you know what I mean? I don't care what somebody is. Absolutely no care in the world what somebody is. What I care about is who they are. And if somebody is an arse, then they're an arse. No matter where they're from, no matter what they look like, no matter what they sound like. If you're an arsehole, you're an arsehole. Obese white men are at greater risk. That's right. I'm a high risk because I'm a fat bastard. That's a bit confusing, sad but mad. I'm a smoker, so I'm lower risk, but I'm a fat bastard, so I'm a high risk. Tomo, yeah, most people are. So I don't, you know, this is why I don't claim any of that kind of stuff, because it makes me as bad as the people that are doing it. Do you know what I mean? I don't look that fat. That's because you never see me standing up. No, I have I have middle-aged spread, shall we call it? Mark Watson, I wish I did, but I don't. Trust me. Do you know what was it? You know what? Right, a few weeks ago, I put a photo. I'd done a video saying how peed off I was with people because of this lockdown thing, spitting and things like that, and going to the supermarket and grabbing everything off the shelves and leaving nothing for other people. I showed what my fridge looked like back then, and that was what, 5 weeks ago. It still looks the same. No, I'm not wearing stockings. That's a Saturday night, not a Sunday night. Right. Somebody wants to say hello. Somebody wants to say hello. Where you gone? Come on in. Oh, hello. Hello. Oh, no tongues. Not on camera. Hang on, hang on. Hello, baby. Hello. Hang on, Alice. Wait your turn. Wait your turn. Daisy. Oh, ow, 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 ow. Okay, hello. Hello. Okay. Come here. Say hello, Alice. Oh, say hello, Alice. Hello, baby. Hello. Oh. Ow, ow, don't scratch my nipple. God, that hurts. What are you doing? What are you doing? Hello. Hello. Daisy coming up. Oh, that's it. Hello, Daisy. Hello, baby. Hello. Okay. Right. Oh. There we go. Hang on a minute. Just a minute. I've got 2 dogs. And they've ruined my top now. The puker, that's Daisy, the black and white one. Well, it's a good thing I've got my glasses on, you see, because this will stop me from touching anywhere near my eyes. It's okay to touch around here, but it's if I touch up anywhere up here, it will send my eyes into a bit of a frenzy. Yeah, the whole TikTok, thing is, yeah. Let's not get into that. Oh dear. Actually, what's the time? 11 o'clock. You're trying to get me to touch around my eyes, aren't you? No, I'm going to go wash my hands in a minute anyway. The dogs need to go out for a wee shortly. So I'm going to wrap this live up shortly. John Boy, that's absolutely true. Take it easy, Just Stuman. So just so you know, I think we have, I think off the top of my head, 3 more cameras. That's another 3 weeks of giveaways at the moment, another 3 weekends. I am going to try and reach out to some of the manufacturers, some of the suppliers, some of the people that make these things, and see whether or not they'd be interested in maybe giving a discount or giving me some to give away. Hopefully I'll be able to do something like that at some point in the future. What do I think of what, Tommins? What have I missed something there? My apologies. I honestly, I don't ignore people. So I might not see a comment. It's very difficult to keep up. There might be 4, but I think there's 3. Antihistamines. I think I've run out, to be honest. Actually, I ordered. Yeah, you just reminded me there. I ordered 6 months worth last week, and they've not turned up yet. I better check into that. I ordered 6 months worth of antihistamines last week, and they've not turned up yet. Good night, Brian. Hello. You come back to see me? Hello. And you, Alice. And you. Don't forget you. Do we? Can't forget you. I know. Oh, yes, I know. You're a good girl. You're a good girl. You're a good girl. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. And you. You're going to bully her now? Yeah, you're going to pick her, aren't you? Wait. Cow. Oh. Right, no fighting. Stop it. Right, yeah. It is wee time for the girls, I'm afraid. So I'm going to knock it on the head there, folks. I know you may not be in the room still, but congratulations again to Paul Gelder for winning the camera. Thank you, everybody, for joining me again this evening. Thank you, everybody, for keeping the chat free from arguments and whatnot. Appreciate that. Thank you. As I've said before, I want a community where everybody can get on. Do you know what I mean? And that's what I try and offer. Basically, that's why I try and respond to everybody where I can. So thank you all once again for joining me. Thank you for your support of the channel. And again, one last thing, if you have sent or if you have asked for some of the cards, please check your email inbox, add your spam box as well, in case you've got an email from me asking for your address. Because the last thing I want is for people to think that they're not getting what they've paid for, when I'm trying to get hold of you all to send it to you. But thanks again. Broadbox, I'll be honest with you, I don't know. I've asked everybody who uses them to get a video, send it to me. But as yet, I've not had any video from anybody. So yeah, so we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. But remember, they're not get out of jail free cards. They're something to remind you of your rights, and to remind the police, if the police stop you, to remind them of your rights. And even filming, for example, even though it doesn't say anywhere that you're legally allowed to film your interaction. Clearly, it doesn't say that you're not. So it just reminds them that you are going to do that, and I would suggest that you do it anyway. Car stickers. I'm working on a website. Where I'll be able to offer stuff that the store doesn't offer. Flags I'll be able to sort out. Car flags I'll be able to sort out. Stickers, things like that I'll be able to sort out. But it's going to take a little bit of time, unfortunately, to get that sorted out. The first thing that I want to do is get the camera sorted out, which I'm just waiting. I've got a tab open on the computer. It's minimized at the moment. I've got a tab on there that is literally just waiting for the camera to come back in stock so I can buy it. And then you're going to have video that doesn't search, autofocus search, so it's not going to keep doing your head in. Guys, thank you once again for your time. Yeah, and that's it. The dogs are sitting here looking at me. They want to go, so I've got to go. Hong Kong Fooey. So yeah, look after yourselves. Stay safe. That's the wrong way around, isn't it? Stay safe. Look after each other. Film the police. And of course, other officials. Good night all.